What's up YouTube? It's the BasedGodinYugioh here on TeamBlackRainbow's channel, coming at you guys with a regional report and a little base talk after, but more about the regional report. Yesterday, April 13th, 2013, we had a San Jose Regionals. It was about 619 players. That was the max capacity, but it sure felt like there was too many people in there, and it was very crowded, and I'm just lucky that I was able to secure a spot in line and able to play in the regionals. This was our last regionals up in NorCal or San Jose. I just wouldn't feel like going to any other NorCal regional. But yeah, this was only my second regionals for this season, I like to call it. And unfortunately, I did not get my invite. I went 3-3, and then before ultimately dropping from the tournament. And it is the first time since 2011 I did not get my invite. So, I mean, I wouldn't have gone to Nats. I haven't gone for like the past 2 years, but it would have just been cool to get your invite. But let's just get into the deck profile, and I'll explain some cards after. So you play 2 Card Trooper, 2 Earth, triple Venus, triple Shine Ball, triple Hyperion, 1 Honest, 2 Herald, triple Fossil Dyna, and for the spells you play triple Space, 2 Lance, 1 Heavy, 1 Dark Hole, and Reborn. And for the traps, I play triple Call, 2 Torrential, 2 Mirror Force, 2 Bottomless, 2 Phoenix Chain, 1 Compulse, 1 Warning, and 1 Judgment. So, the thing that you might not really understand why I'm playing are the 3 Fossil Dynas. And, I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. You know, you run 2 Christia, but I feel like 3 Fossil Dyna can just do so much more for you. Not only can you just normal summon it like regular, like you don't need a specific summoning condition. Like you don't need 4 fairies in the graveyard. Sometimes they'll draw your Christia when you have like 7 and you have no way of getting rid of it, and say all your heralds already in the grave. You'll be stuck with a dead Christia, or maybe even 2. And early game, Christia isn't that great if you have like no fairies in your grave. So I just felt like Fossil Dyna is more useful. Not only can you normal summon it and attack for like 12 and keep poking, but you have all these traps to ensure that it'll stay alive, especially the lance and everything like that. And also the when it's flipped face up effect, that part is really good to me. I would set it against people like Karakuri's. I played a Karakuri guy, and I set it, and he didn't know I main decked it. So then he went all off, and then last minute, like last second, he used his Beret's effect to flip my face down monster face up, and it was Fossil Dyna. So all his monsters went like away, and felt pretty good. And yeah, so that's the reason why I'm not playing Christia. I know Christia is a bigger body, but Christia is also harder to special summon. And sure, yeah, it is 2800, but I just feel like 3 Fossil Dynas will be easier to get in the grave for your Call of the Haunteds. And since you're playing Phoenix Chains, you won't need 3 Herald. So that's why I opted just to run 2. Plus you don't have 2 more Christia to help pitch, but 2 Herald were good enough for me. And also the Call of the Haunted shenanigans, like it's pretty much the same with Christia. Like if they summon Tour Guide, activate effect, chain Call the Haunted to get a Christia back, you can just, just get the Fossil Dyna back, and it's already a bigger body than Tour Guide, so it's just the same. And for some reason I thought I was running 40 cards, but when I was filling out my deck list, it ended up being 41. So I probably would have cut the Compulse, but it did its magic every now and then. And so yeah, this is the main deck. Here, I'll go show you guys the side deck and extra too, before actually telling you guys what I played against. So let's go in here. You know, you got your Gores tokens. But am I even playing Gores? You got the side deck and extra deck right here. I'll go through the side deck first. Just because I feel like it's, you know, more usually. So I tried it. I wanted a side mainly against Dino Rabbit, aka Macro Rabbit, Mermails, and Firefist, even though I've never played Firefist before, so I don't really know how they work. But here's what I sided in. I sided in Triple Snowman, you know. This is for the Firefist and Dino Rabbit matchup, also heroes and the like anti-meta stuff. And I only played one Firefist throughout my 6 rounds, and I'll tell you more about that. I sided in Triple Banisher for like water and anything that relied on the graveyard, just because it can become an anti-meta deck. It's like if you have that up, sure it'll hurt you eventually, but then again you're not gonna be dumb enough to have this face up and then try to summon like a Venus just for the things to get removed, you know. So when you have this, usually this will be the only monster you have on board, maybe a Fossil Dyna, just to completely lock them down and like a shitload of traps. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. 2 Thunder King. This was for like windups, heroes, Brotherhood, Firefist, whatever. Just it's a good anti-meta card, and it's, I don't know, I liked it, even though it didn't really help all that much yesterday, since I didn't play the cards I wanted to play. 2 Maxi. This is for also windups and what's it called, Mermails. But I did not play any windups or Mermails, so these are kind of just in there. And yeah, I did sign them in once, but I'll let you know guys later. And last was Gores. I don't know, I felt like Gores would be a good siding card if I ever sat it in the Max Cs. And you know, every time I actually did siding Gores, I never actually drew it. So it was, I can't really tell you how it went. But there would be some times where I would have Dead Phoenix Chains and Call on the Haunteds. Like, I'd use it to Exceed. They'd use their monster to Exceed or Synchro. So then Gores wouldn't have been the great opportunity to drop. So I don't know. This deck still needs some work, and yeah. So, and then I also sided in 2 Soul Takers. This is just for whatever I felt like I needed monster destruction. Whether it was, you know, Geargia, Karakuri, Dino Rabbit, Firefist. Against the BasedGodinYugioh too, that card's a real bitch. And yeah, I pretty much sided this in every what's it called? Every round except for against Lightsworns. And last, 2 Dust Tornado, just to get, you know, their back rows, because you know, if you're facing macro skill drain, you're gonna need to get those off the board. And yeah, I don't know, I really like them. I'd probably run 3 in the future, but you know, we'll have to see where this future takes us. And yeah, so that was the side deck. I feel like this video is gonna be really long, but oh well, you know, 1 video a month should be pretty long. And onto the extra deck, I extra decked 1 Army Arm, never made it. 1 Android, made it once. 1 Cadister, never made it. 1 Gaia Knight, never made it. 1 Black Rose, never made that. And 1 Stardust Dragon, never made that. I then extra decked 2 Gachi. I made 1 almost every game, and I made 2 maybe like twice. So yeah, it was pretty good. 1 Daigisto Phoenix. This one was used to get damage on board and fast, especially if I felt like I was in a losing position. I was like, I'll pressure them with the Daigisto Phoenix, and it actually ended up helping me win the game. 1 Leviathan. I made it once. 1 Acid Golem, never made it. 1 Tempo. I made it once, and I failed, and I had a brain fart, but I'll tell you all of that later. 1 Leviair, I made that to push for game. 1 Zenmains, never made it, and 1 Utopia. Just in case, you know, I sided in the Thunder Kings, I had the Honest, I don't know, I just feel like if I ever needed a rank 4, this would be perfect for me. Yeah, that's the side deck. Not the side deck, the extra deck. I'm really getting them confused, but yeah. Um, let's see. Sorry, I need to have my extra deck and all that, and the way I put them properly. So let's just go put a bunch of my main deck cards on the thing, even though that's all I have. A nice background for you guys to stare at. Where's the Dynas at? Bam. So, this is pretty nice. What am I? This is nice, man. Okay, so, round 1, I played against Machina Girgia Car Curry. Yes, Machina Girgia Car Curry. Let's see. Game 1, it was a very grind out game. Game 1 took about like 30 minutes because I know for damn sure it did not take like 10 because like we were still in game 1 and his friends all came over. I'm like, oh man, you're still playing, what game is it? And we're like, oh, game 1. I'm like, oh man. But yeah, it was a grind out game, and I honestly felt like I could have won that game, except that he top decked a Pot of Avarice. Like with no cards in hand, he top decked a Pot of Avarice. I'm like, oh man, darn it all. So I was like, oh, whatever, it happens. I wouldn't be mad if I top deck a Christie, a Hyperion against him. So why be mad if he top decks a Ivorus? But there was one really cool moment in game 1 where he had a Stardust up, and I had a set bottomless and a set call, and I had a Dyna in the grave. So he summons the Girgi Accelerator, the one that's like a lone fire. I try bottomlessing it, and he chains Stardust effect. I'm like, okay. He tributes the Girgi Accelerator for cost, and I activate Call the Haunted, targeting the Dyna. So not only does he get that monster, but he doesn't really get to have a Stardust. And then main phase, still main phase 2, the only card in his hand, Dark Hole. I'm like, aw, bruh. So this goes to graveyard. He ends, and then he gets his Stardust back. I'm like, oh man, this would have been a super sick, cool play. And yeah. In game 2, I don't know. He said he opened up like triple armor, 2 accelerator, and I was like, oh man, I feel bad. I pretty much beat him. And then game 3, I kind of messed up because there was a point in time where he had a Mace Stroke and I had a Tempo. And I activated its effect during my turn, So he had one material, I had one material. And he drew for his turn, and he said standby phase. I was like, and he said anything. I'm like, nah. This is just shows my time away from Yu-Gi-Oh. So during his main phase, he automatically just declared Mayshoke's effect, and I was like, oh man, I really messed that one up. So not only was he able to attack over my Tempo, it really just changed the game. So yeah, I lost game 3. So I started the day off 0-1. But I can't be too mad. Put up a good fight after not playing competitively for a good like 2 months, 2.5. Especially playing like a tier 2 deck. Windups. Against who plays this? And then round 2, I played Car Curry. I 2-0'd this guy. Like I said, game 1, I set a Dyna, and next turn he just went off, and he used the Beret effect to switch my Dyna into attack mode, and bada bing, I just destroyed everything, and I took control from that game. And actually after that, I just sat on the Dyna, and he actually used all his monsters, so it was pretty much a draw and discard, and he decked out. But yeah, if my Dyna was any other monster, I would have lost pretty much. And that was also the game where I had like 2 Fiendish Chains and like two calls dead, so I only had one room for 1 back row. I think it was a Heavy Storm I set for. Just didn't feel like using it because I was afraid of the Starlight Road, and that would have been his monster. But whatever, you can't win them all. Or even though I did. Then in game 2, I just completely controlled it. I opened up with 2 Destinado and a Venus, and he said 2 back row, so I just set the 2 dust just in case. And he MST'd the dust, and I was like, okay, +1. Destroyed one of his. And then he does all his shenanigans, and then I finally get off my Venus, and then it just went downhill from there for him. Then round 3, I played gadgets, so I'm like, okay, I really should have sided in, Cyber Dragons, but I didn't expect to play any of these cards, like any of these like Machina, Girgia characters. I didn't expect to play any of them, but he 2-0s me. He got his gadget train flowing, and he played the double summon version too. So when I thought I got rid of one, he activated double summon and summoned another one. I'm like, man, okay. And yeah, it was just a real bad duel for me. And yeah, I can't really say anything else about it because I don't remember any crucial spots in which it was super cool because Dynas didn't really help. Round 4, I played Lightsworns. I was pretty scared, but I grinded out game 1. I was able to do my shenanigans, and a Fossil Dyna plus double Hyperion helped. Because I had a Venus in the graveyard, 2 Hyperion in hand, and a Fossil Dyna. So I drew for a turn, and I drew an Earth. I was like, okay, remove Earth, remove Venus for 2 Hyperion and summon Dyna. There's nothing he can do. Then game 2, I boarded in the Banishers and all that, just because it's Lightsworns who heavily depend on the graveyard. So it was pretty cool. Like there was a point in time where he actually had to flip a Raikou just to pop my Banisher, and then just for me to summon another Banisher and attack over it. And then so I had him at 700 life points in my calculator, and he had himself at 21. So it was pretty crucial, as I had like 2 back rows, and I forgot what I had. It might have been like a Hyperion. So then he summons JD, and I really got scared, even though I didn't know that he was under 700 or under 1,000. And he says activate effect. So I go to my calculator to minus 1,000. I was like, oh wait, you're at 700. So then we had this dispute about how he took 600 from, how he just like lost life points, and we eventually came that I was right. So then, he just attacks over Hyperion. So then my turn, I drew, and I had another Hyperion in hand. I removed it, removed the Venus, popped his JD, attack over his monster, and pretty much took control. He set a monster and passed. So I had a set call. I popped his face down, which I predicted was a Necro. So I was like, okay. So I attack with Hyperion. He negates, and then I call the Haunted, my Fossil Dyna, and he's only at 700, so I attacked for game. It was pretty cool. Round 5, I played against Rabbit, and I 2-0'd him. I don't think he was main decking Macro Cosmos because he didn't play it. But yeah, it was just a really grind game for me, and for him too. But I don't really remember anything about that duel, sorry. But yeah, it was pretty cool beating Rabbit. And game 2, he did reveal that he was playing D5s, but it came too late. And I was like, oh, that's always the worst. And then round 6, I played Brotherhood with Fire Fist. This is my very first time playing Fire Fist. And I always want to say ring rest because I'm a big wrestling fan. But just my inability to know what all the cards do kind of like lost me the game. So it was like, believe me when I say it was a grind game. But I was down to like 23, and he was at 4,000. He had like he had one set card and a bear on board with like 2 tankies up. So like it's like whatever. So I end phase, called and haunted a Hyperion back, and then I draw for turn, and I MST his middle back row, which was a D prison. So okay, that's raw. I'm raw, And I was like, he's at 4,000, and I drew an Earth. So I was like, oh man, that's gonna leave him with 300. But I was like, hell or high water, you might as well. So I popped his bear, summon Earth, search out Venus, and attack, leaving him at 300. And I set a torrential tribute. I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable. So then he goes his next turn. He summons a Gene Warp Werewolf. I'm like, that's fine. And then he activates Reborn on Bear. I'm like, okay, Bear's only effect is that if he inflicts attack damage, right? Wrong. I completely forgot Bear had a second effect. So when I said the summon was okay, he activated its effect to send the Tenki and my Hyperion to the grave, which lost me the match because if I had known that, I would have trenchelled him right then and there. And he said he had two. He said his hand was a Tensu, a Starlight Road, and a Compulsion. He would have just said it all. But I had a Venus, and like I was still gonna draw for turn, so it might have mattered, but I'm not sure. But then, I could have just summoned Venus and bring out Shine Balls to attack. His Compulse can only stop one thing. So yeah, it's whatever. You can't, I was like, that's my fault for not knowing. And he said, yeah, maybe if you knew that effect, you probably would have won game one. So I was like, oh yeah, probably. Game two, I completely obliterated him. It was to the point where I was just setting snowmans, and then I summoned Hyperion for him to compulse it back. But then I had a face-up snowman on board and a snowman in my grave with the Venus removed. And he's like at 4,000. So I call the Haunted my snowman back. This is still main phase 1 too. I go on Leviair, bring back Venus, and then I remove it for Hyperion and attack for game. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then game 3, he just opens the nuts on me. He rabbits into 2 Warp Werewolves into Fire King, and then it just went downhill from there, and there's nothing I could do. Overall, regionals was pretty fun. Kind of tiring though, staying all the way until like 10:30. From 9 to 10:30, that's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even Slim said he was tired too, so hey. Yeah, it was really fun. I hope that I could have gone better or done better. But just feel free to, comment and whatever you feel like for this video. Here's a little base talk. I'm going to be focusing more on school since it's like the final 5 weeks probably of school left, and I really need to get my grades up. Just because, not because, I'm slacking, but these classes are really hard. And so there won't be as much Yu-Gi-Oh content, maybe like a video or 2 a month. Whenever I feel like doing a next resurrecting or whenever I come up with an idea to do videos. Just stuff like that, And so I just want you guys to know that don't expect too much from me over the next 2 weeks, and probably even in summer. Now that BAMS is gone, I can't just go to the locals just to record duels, because like I stated, if I do go to my other locals, I'd rather play and become a duelist. And yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and just if you have anything to say to me, just let me know. And yeah, this is the BasedGodinYugioh, and I'm out. Bye.